The last train of Baghdad Berlin Railway that saved the Ottoman army in Baghdad from captivity in 1917. In that year, the Ottoman withdrew from Baghdad via the Baghdad-Samarra train. It was an organized withdrawal under the cover of night. They were quick to make this decision when the British forces approached the station in Baghdad in Al-Alawi. Today, that year, the railway was not completed, as it was from Baghdad to Samarra only. Berlin-Baghdad Express. The Berlin-Baghdad Express, also called the Orient Express, is known by its German name, Baghdad Bahn, is a 1,600-kilometer railway built between 1903 and 1940 to build a railway between Konya in Turkey and Baghdad, and in order to connect it after that to the Anatolian railways, Istanbul, Konya, and other railways in Syria and Iraq. The total length of the project is 3,205 kilometers, which makes it one of the largest German infrastructure projects at the time. Note that the project was completed in the Royal era in 1940. The project began in 1889 through the visit of the German Emperor Wilhelm II and the director of the German Bank to the port of Istanbul and to the Orient to present a project linking Baghdad to Berlin under the management of the German Bank and also under the management of Sultan Abdulhamid. In 1902, the Anatolian Railway Company, which was founded by the German Bank, obtained a 99-year concession under which it was entitled to build and operate a 3,200-kilometer long line that runs from Konya, Turkey, to the city of Basra in southern Iraq, where the Germans intended to build a port. In addition, mineral resources are extracted in the areas the line will pass through. Although the project aroused the ire of the great powers like England, the project started in 1903 with a construction journey that lasted 3,000 years. The fears of the British and other countries about German competition in Iraq proved true as the Ottoman Empire during World War I concluded an alliance with Germany. At the end of the First World War, the part of the project from Mosul to Samarra and from Baghdad to Basra remained unachieved. The withdrawal of the Ottoman forces from Baghdad and the entry of British forces. The British advanced from the bank of Tigris River. There were simple skirmishes in early March 1917, and they started attacking the last Turkish forces in Tel Mohammed, and they were only 5 kilometers from Baghdad, and they threatened the Baghdad-Samarra railway, forcing Khalil Pasha to consider leaving Baghdad without resistance in Baghdad or in its outskirts. In the evening, 10 to 11 March 1917, the Ottoman forces were forced to evacuate Baghdad without resistance. At about 2 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, 11 March 1917, where the Ottoman commander Khalil Pasha left Baghdad from the Al-Kadhimiya train station in direction of Samarra after he held a meeting with field commanders at the Khir police station, which is currently located in An-Nusur Square in Baghdad. And the Turkish army began to withdraw from Baghdad to the city of Samarra on the train, the part that the German had constructed. The Turks also took full advantage of the river Tigris. At the night of leaving Baghdad, they blew up the munitions stored in Bab al-Talsam, one of the gates of the old Baghdad wall. An explosion that rocked the whole Baghdad as the Turks sabotaged the German radio station in Al-Washash, which is currently located in Al-Zawra Park, and they took the official records with them, including real estate records. After the evacuation of Baghdad by the Turks on 10 March 1917, due to their incapacity to defend the city, the British Army learned of this situation. A patrol advanced and occupied the west train station of Baghdad, and at the same time another company advanced after crossing the Tigris River and raised the British flag over the Sarai and Qishla. The British forces headed towards Samarra on 21st April 1917, and on the road, the withdrawing Turkish forces from Baghdad confronted the British forces, and the confrontations continued till 23rd April. And on that day, the British were able to take over the Samarra train station, which had 16 locomotives and 250 goods wagons loaded with equipment. British forces containing a large number of Indian soldiers, so that the station walls were tagged by German soldiers before the withdrawal of the Turkish troops, with whom they were fighting. They found drawings like a zeppelin flying in the sky of London, throwing bombs, and a sentence written in German, Gott straf England, that is, may the Lord punish England. The British moved the station's bell with them to England, and it is still in the museum of the Royal Leicestershire Regiment. The train was the lifeline for the Ottoman army, and this defeat had erased the Ottoman victory over the British army in the siege of Kut. And it is the largest defeat in which the British army suffered the greatest losses, but vanity and lack of perseverance upset scales. It was too late that Commander Khalil Pasha realized the great mistake he had made in not chasing the British after the siege of Kut. So this night, train kept them away little by little from the imminent danger, to bid farewell to an era that spanned more than 400 years, an era in which they left us a lot of legacy, from culture, from vocabulary, from which it is still used today. The Baghdadis gathered around the building of Al-Qishla near Al-Mutanabbi Street today to see the descent of the Ottoman flag and the rise of the English flag instead of it, so that the page folds a long era and to announce the beginning of another era. And the train remains running, and the project resumes after that, but without the Germans and without the Turks. Then Baghdad was connected to Basra and Baghdad to Mosul, and the project was completed in 1940. And this important project remains in the memory, and today we find many proposals, including European countries, to revive the Berlin-Baghdad Express, and the train remains, in spite of the ages, one of the most important means of transportation, and also remains an important factor in wars.